What's going on? Leroy Green 85, aka The Last Dragon. And this is my entry for Mr. Movie Mike, who recently changed his name because he was, what was he? Yeah, Django Spider. That was a cool name, dude. I don't know why you changed it, but I can understand you changed it to Movie Mike to get that association with movies. So I get that. That's cool. And yeah, man, congratulations on 500. Some congrats again on 500 subs. That's totally awesome. You must have a great job, or you're highly addicted. I'm gonna go with A and B, and and the content you do as far as uploads and of course your style of showing the stuff and things like that, and you don't always just get mainstream. You also get some stuff like maybe that's not so mainstream, maybe the independent route or things like that. But yeah, man, every time I see you upload something, you try to give it a chance to watch it or even comment. And so I do thank you for your content and also your success, and hopefully much more for that. But I think you asked basically about Superman and Batman, and Blu-ray Anonymous, a little sneaky fool. He has stole my thunder a little bit because he mentioned the Donner cut, which is, yes, I'm not hating on Man of Steel, and to be honest, I have to really rewatch it again. Like, I've only seen Man of Steel in the movie theater. That was months ago, and it left me kind of like, I don't know, like I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. So I'm still on the fence, and this is like a lot of emotions I had to get out or try to figure out, mainly because I'm still a fanboy of the original Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Supermans, and you gotta differentiate them because they're not the same. It's not the same universe. It's different eras as far as filmmaking and special effects and the style of the films. They're just totally different beasts, and it's just something I have to get used to. I'm not saying Henry Cavill is not a good Superman. It's just a different Superman. Like the Christopher Reeve versions, you didn't see him walking around without a shirt all the time. It's like they changed to the appeal to make him more sexy for the women and things like that. And there was a couple things I'm not gonna I could do a separate video on why I have my problems with Man of Steel, and I'm not saying it's a bad film. Maybe I have to reassess it, get to know it better. And I don't know. I'm definitely excited for part two, but it seems like, and they're playing a very fine line and a danger as far as putting way too many characters in there, and then going that Spider-Man 3 route. It's a little bit dangerous when you're trying to incorporate a already well-established movie character in Batman, and now you're talking about Wonder Woman. There's talks of Lex Luthor. There's talks of like Green Arrow. There's talks of everybody. It's getting so convoluted now, where it's just like every other week's a new rumor. So and I think like in a story like Man of Steel, they didn't flesh out Superman enough, which you would figure by the second film there'll be more fleshing out. But it seems like the more characters you put in there, it's not gonna really help his cause as far as character development. And I think that was one of the main issues with Man of Steel. I felt was some little character development issues, and I wasn't a big fan of Amy Adams and that particular film. She was great in American Hustle if you haven't seen it, but all right, I'm rambling way too much on that. The original Superman was, if you watch it now, yeah, it's a bit campy, it's a little cheesy, but it has so much heart, and I think that's what Man of Steel is kind of missing. I don't know, it's kind of missing that, and the way Christopher Reeve brought heart and spirit to that Superman, and his portrayal of Clark Kent is great. Like I said, it's different eras, it's a different time, so I always will prefer that version, and also Richard Donner's cut of part 2, which is great. Unfortunately, it's not an official cut, because during production of part 2, when they were making Superman, they were making 1 and 2 at the same time at that time. and it was a massive project. I mean, the special effects at that time, as far as him trying to get him to fly, was just unheard of. But they figured out ways to do it. But they had a deadline to get the first one out, so they had to stop production of part two to finish part one. And of course, part one was a massive success. So naturally, Donner was going to finish two, but he never got a chance to finish two. Basically, he had some problems with the producers, whether that be creative differences, more than likely, and I guess he was let go, and Richard Lester was brought in, and most of Donner's visions in there, I would say maybe 65% of it, maybe, yeah, I would say. And then obviously most of Donner's, as far as the ending, that's definitely Richard Lester's version. So basically what the Donner cut is, it's taking deleted scenes that weren't in part two. They took some of the deleted scenes, which is some great ones, like Gene Hackman, who refused to be in part two, so they used like more footage of that. Also, Marlon Brando's part was cut up, which makes this much more heartwarming. The way they use Brando's Jor-El in here in part two, and I don't want to give it away. You'll have to see. And there's a couple other different things in there. So they didn't actually. He didn't have, since he didn't finish part two. There wasn't enough footage that he wanted to do. So basically, they took deleted scenes, rehearsal footage, and they had to copy some of the parts of part one to kind of complete the Richard Donner cut. Unfortunately, he didn't have a full vision how he wanted to end it part two. So they had to kind of use some of the stuff from the Richard Lester version. Unfortunately, so like I said, it's not official Donner cut, and he says that. So we never truly know what Superman 2 would have been, but we get maybe about now 85% of what it could have been. So I highly would recommend that. I think, and you could see like after Donner left, the series has got very campy. I mean, Superman 3 was just, ugh, and part 4 was just. But yeah, and as far as Batman, of course, I grew up watching Batman from the old TV show. Of course, '89 Batman kind of just changed things. I don't know. I'm not big on Batman Returns. It got, even that time, it was like way too much Tim Burton in there. They gave him way too much freedom, and it got way too, gothic, dark. Those Tim Burton type of elements, and I don't know, like I don't hate it. I don't know. It's just some days I enjoy it, and some days I don't. And I've seen it recently, and I'm just like, it depends on the mood I'm in. But I definitely love the Nolan trilogies. I remember when I saw Batman Begins, that was just massive. It was huge. I was like, damn, Batman's a ninja. Like, it makes a lot of sense. Like the way he moves and the shadow in the night, and using ninjutsu to kind of incorporate it into his training. So yeah, that finally like clicked into my head. Like I was already in love. So, and then the Dark Knight was just brilliant. And then Rises, I love Rises. A lot of people have problems with it. I mean, there are some plot devices where I think Nolan took much more liberties in that one as far as the story, and where it kind of goes more comic booky. And this is probably his most comic book film, I would say, out of the trilogy is Rises. But I digress. Anyway, congratulations once again, and hopefully I win. And if I don't, that's fine. But I'm also showing support. So once again, congrats, and Happy New Year to you and yours, and peace.